give you an acid and a base and I ask you to identify which is which, what would you do? Would you taste it and see if it is sour or bitter? No, you shouldn't do that. There is an easy way out. You can use what we call as the indicators. Indicators are substances which indicate the acidic or basic nature of a solution by color change. That is, you can visually detect whether the solution is acidic or basic. Indicators are of several types. You have the natural indicators, the synthetic indicators, olfactory indicators. Natural indicators, as the name suggests, are obtained from natural sources. Examples include turmeric, red cabbage, China rose, etc. Litmus is also a natural indicator which is obtained from lichens. Litmus is obtained in two colors. You have the red litmus and the blue litmus. An acid turns blue litmus red, whereas a base turns red litmus blue, and that's how you identify an acid and a base using litmus paper. The second type of indicators are the synthetic indicators, which are also called as the man-made indicators that are synthesized in laboratories. The most commonly used synthetic indicators are phenolphthalein and methyl orange. Phenolphthalein is a colorless liquid. It turns pink in color with a base, whereas it remains colorless with an acid. Whereas methyl orange is an orange colored liquid. It turns into red color when mixed with an acid and turns into yellow color when mixed with a base. Now the third type of indicators are olfactory indicators. These are different from the above two, that is natural and synthetic indicators. Why? Because olfactory indicators are substances which change their smell when mixed with an acid or a base. Let's take an example of onion, which is a natural substance. It is an olfactory indicator. It changes its smell when mixed with a base, whereas it does not change its smell at all when mixed with an acid. Same is the case with vanilla. It's got a nice smell, right? But it changes its smell when mixed with a base, but the smell does not change at all when mixed with an acid. Now these three indicators only gives us an information about whether the solution is acid or a base, whereas it does not give us any information regarding the strength of an acid and a base. What do you mean by the strength of an acid and a base? The concentration of hydrogen ion in acid and the hydroxide ion in a base per unit volume shows the strength of an acid and a base. So how can you dilute or how can you reduce the strength of an acid or a base? You just have to mix water with it. That is, you mix water with acids or base and dilute the acid, and this process is called as dilution. But this process is highly exothermic, which means it releases a lot of energy. So your teachers would have definitely told you never to dilute acids by adding water to the concentrated acid. Instead, you should do it the reverse way. That is, you should add the concentrated acid to water in order to dilute it. Otherwise, it can cause severe damage because concentrated acids and bases are highly corrosive. Using a litmus paper, phenolphthalein, methyl orange, etc., you can only get an idea of whether the solution is acidic or basic, whereas it gives us no information regarding the strength of an acid or a base. So for that, you need to use what we call as the universal indicator, which is basically a pH indicator that shows different colors over the pH range of 1 to 14. And a universal indicator is usually composed of a lot of chemicals. We know the pH scale, which is a scale for measuring the hydrogen ion concentration in a solution, right? So if a solution is neutral, the pH of that solution is going to be 7. If it is acidic, it's going to be less than 7, and if it is basic, it's going to be more than 7. And a universal indicator, which is a pH indicator, will show you different colors over this pH range of 1 to 14. Now let's see the role of pH in our everyday life. The best example for that is a digestive system. Did you know that our stomach lining consists of hydrochloric acid? Yes, it does consist of HCl, which helps in the digestion of food. But what happens if there is an excess of acid in the stomach? It will cause acidity or indigestion, and then we will have medicines like antacids which will neutralize the acid and relieve us from pain. So it is definitely important to maintain the pH of our body. Let's see another example of tooth decay. Do you know how tooth decay occurs? The bacteria present in our mouth converts the sugar into acids, and when the pH of the acid formed in the mouth falls below 5.5, tooth decaying starts. So we'll have to remove these excess acids by using a good toothpaste which consists of a base that will neutralize the acid. So it is also important to maintain the pH of our mouth by regularly cleaning your mouth. Let's see another example of pH of soil and how it affects plant growth. Most of the plants have a healthy growth when the soil has a specific pH which is close to 7. It should neither be highly acidic nor it should be highly basic. That is also quite important. Did you know that plants and animals are pH sensitive? Yes, they are. Our body works within the pH range of 7 to 7.8. Living organisms can survive only in the narrow pH change. And when the pH of rainwater falls below 5.6, it is called as acid rain. What will happen if acid rain falls into river water? It will affect the survival of aquatic plants and animals. So it is very important to maintain the pH of water. Did you also know that animals and plants use pH as a self-defense? Yes, they do. Acidic substances are used by animals and plants as a self-defense mechanism. Have you ever been stung by a honeybee? Bee sting leaves an acid which causes pain and irritation, and you use a mild base like baking soda on the stung area to give relief. Now I think you would have understand how important pH is in our everyday life. These are just some examples. If you look around, you can see more examples of pH. Now to summarize, indicators are substances which indicate whether the solution is acidic or basic. There are of 4 types. We have the natural indicators, the synthetic indicators, olfactory indicators, and the universal indicator, which is a pH indicator.